Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Into the Pit. I have here the Guts podcast, which is getting under the skin. The guy, okay, if you're watching this, I can tell you, I'm pointing them out. But if you're listening to this, we got one guy here named Space Viking, and the other guy's name is Zano.
Yeah. What's up?
So,
What's shaking?
man, I'm gonna tell you what, life just couldn't get any better, you know. Health is coming back, things are getting great, you know. I just wish the world wasn't so crazy right now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, man.
Same,
Just too much hate in this world, it seems like.
no doubt.
So, you know, and our shows are meant to bring people together, which is what we really need instead of, instead of people trying to separate us, you know.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
But I'm gonna let you guys just tell us a little bit about yourselves, you know, where you grew up and how y'all met, and then we'll get into what you do.
All right, that's what's up. You want to go first?
Yeah, Zano the Vigi. I like to call myself Zano, from Houston, Texas, south side of Houston, Texas. I met, me and Space Viking, we met in a crazy little place, man.
we met it in summer camp.
Summer camp for grown-ups.
For grown-ups.
It wasn't band camp, was it?
Yeah.
We was playing with those goddamn flutes and shit. Sticking our pecker and tubas.
We met in a court-ordered summer camp institution, and we're actually
recovering addicts.
We're both recovering drug addicts.
Yeah.
So I can sympathize with you there.
Yeah. So we've known each other for years. We live together, and we love, if anyone can relate, like when you're in a hardcore addiction cycle, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
You know, so we got sober, and we both have loved horror movies our whole life. But after getting sober, man, like, you really, like, when you watch horror movies, it kind of gives you some exciting feels and stuff like that, that we don't get anymore, and it's in a safe place. So we just kind of realized, like, man, we watch horror movies every day.
Yeah, man.
And it was just kind of like, and people that know us, they're always like, man, you two knuckleheads are some characters, man.
Yeah, no shit. They used to call us Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh yeah, they always call us Bebop and Rocksteady.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. So
it was funny though. When Joe Bob, we met Joe Bob at the screening of the house that Jack built, and he was like, we told him we was a podcast. He was like, man, y'all some goddamn wrestlers, man. He say, like, y'all the biggest podcast I ever seen in my life. That's shit, man.
Yeah.
But what we did was really the energy from both of us, man. We just felt the energy. And like you were saying earlier, we want our podcast to be able to bridge a lot of people together that normally wouldn't interact with each other. Because we like to interview Houston local artists. If you make music, you do anything, you do creative, we like to get you to talk about horror movies with us. And so we might have a guy that doesn't know this rock guy, but once he come on our page, they all interact with each other. So we're just trying to bridge that gap between people who normally like wouldn't mesh with each other, wouldn't like even look at what you got going on. Come to our page, and we kind of like we love promoting people, we love promoting ourselves. That's why we went from like just doing a podcast with horror movies to becoming creative and started doing our own merch as well. And we chose the name Guts. It's so great for us, you know what I'm saying? It's the acronym for getting under the skin. And that to us was like perfect for horror, man. It's like Guts. We love Guts. We're big gore fans, and it just set well with us, man.
Yeah, that's kind of how we've lived together for years, and that's kind of how it worked out. Like, we're like, man, people are always like, man, you two need a show.
Yeah.
And we would think, like, what would we do? What would we talk about? You know, and then we realized, like, man, we watch horror movies every day.
Yeah.
And then I heard, I didn't know, like, we didn't even know what a podcast was, or, you know, like, I actually got my first computer ever during the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, like we're meatheads, man. Yeah, so we didn't know, but our friend Low Key, who was actually at the place with us, he's got like a rad exorcist tattoo on his arm, but he's a podcast producer and he's had some successful ones.
Yeah, he's a great engineer.
And we told him, hey, we want to start a podcast. And so he was like, I'm coming. I got you. And he started producing it for us. And that he's the one who puts it out and usually does our stuff. So that's kind of how it started going.
And I look at it for us, man, it was just the growth of how we started. Because, like, we have a picture. We interviewed, who was it? Tony Biz, I think it was. Tony Biz, he was doing a fan favorite Chucky movie. And our interview was like basically on the phone. And then we went from on the phone to now it's like this, to where we let our audience know when you buy merch or buy anything, support us, we able to like build our brand. And like we thank the fans for like helping us get microphones and stuff like that. We even had some fans that that's really close with us, like our friend Misty. We made her own personal Misty gut t-shirt because she bought so much merchandise from us. Was like, what colors do you like? And Space Viking went in, changed the colors for her, and she actually purchased the shirt. So we try our best to interact as much as we can on the internet. Like, we love like talking to people. Like, we don't let somebody just answer the question. We don't answer back. We like your stuff. We promote you. And our thing was, we don't care if you have 15 followers or nothing like that. We don't care about that. People are always looking for, they not famous. To me, that's the most hardcore people you could ever find, is somebody trying to come up. And then it's like, I'm gonna like you just as much as I like somebody else. It's like, we're not gonna separate that from difference, because a fan is a fan, man. And we're a fan of people who are fans of us. But we met some creative people like our friend Chris LaRock. He does LaRock Creations. He makes these Jason masks, and it's like badass Jason masks, to where it's like, damn, man, if we wouldn't have got onto this thing, we wouldn't have never met people like this. And it's just awesome for us, man.
Yeah, that's like me. When I got into doing podcasting, I was meeting people I never thought I'd ever get to talk to.
Yeah,
I made so many great friends along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I started following y'all on Instagram, and I'd see those little clips of y'all interacting, and I'm like, man, these guys are nuts. I said, I've got to get these guys on my show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're some wild boys.
And plus, we've got the love of the horror, and of course, I'm in the paranormal and all that, and y'all was just the perfect fit to be on the show. And I like the fact that y'all are yourselves. You don't try to be somebody else. Y'all are, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's really important.
Yeah, it's, man, like we always was like, it's, even when we started doing merch, it was like, man, what do we like to wear? What would somebody else like to wear? We're not going to change who we are just to fit into a certain group of people. Because people, like you say, people enjoy it. Like, that's why we wear grills, man. It's a Southern thing to wear goals in our mouth and tattoos and dreads and wild color beards. We just feel like if we stick to who you are, stick to your guns and what you do, people just respect it, man. We don't worry about, because once you change and start trying to do other people's stuff, you kind of like lose who you really are.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to follow the trend, man. The trend is gonna come and go. And if you stick to who you are and what you like to do, is always original to me.
Well, I mean, you see guys that have been around since the 60s.
Yeah.
Still, they stick to their formula. Yeah. And even though they should have gone by the wayside, they're still going strong because they are who they are.
Definitely, man.
And, I'm one of these that, maybe I don't do like everybody else when I do my interviews and do my podcast, all that kind of stuff. But I want everything to grow naturally. So I'm not going to, everybody wants to buy these fake followers and subscribers. And that's just not how to do it. Even if it takes me a couple of years before I get up into those, hundreds of thousands of followers or whatever. So be it.
Yeah, it's so organic that way, man. When we noticed that, like, if people that buy followers, it's like you got 50, 60,000 followers, but then you post something, you got 3 comments. It's like I love the fact that if we post something or Space Bike and post something, you have 15 silent people always commenting and talking, and that to me is golden, man. Can't get enough of it.
Oh yeah, that interaction. There, even like you say, if you got one person out there that listens to you and is a fan, you've touched one person's life, and it still makes you feel good.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, it's been like really cool doing the pod. Like you said, like you've seen our stuff. We're wild as hell, and so like in normal life, I mean, a lot of the normies, like when they meet us, we kind of freak them out, but we got online and there's all these people that are like, yo, that are like us, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like find your own tribe thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's kind of like the like I've had so much fun doing this, and instead of being the weirdos, it's kind of like you found your niche of, because people that fuck with you, you know what I mean? So, like we love paranormal, all the spooky stuff, man.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're some like maniac serial killers, but it's like, people that aren't into it, they don't get it, man. They think you're like some weird. I met some of the most genuine, real,
solid people
man. Doing the podcast. So we just absolutely love it. Like to me, there's no going back.
Yeah, we even met a lady. I forgot her name. Real good. We met her in Walmart. What's crazy? I think we both had like on a Michael Myers T-shirt or something. She was like, "Man, I love, She was like, "Man, y'all famous?" And we was like, "Nah," but she like, "I take a picture." We like, "Hell yeah," you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, we're very approachable. We might not look like it. Like we walking through the store, you probably like, "Man, I am not about to go talk to them dudes, man." Hell no. Man, we are the most easiest people to talk to because we love that shit. Because you never know who you meet, man. You never know who that person is that you be an asshole to, and later in line you need them. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, to me, if anybody comes up or talks or want to speak or something like that, I love that shit. And then you just find people who love horror, because it's people like, we got this guy we know from HEB, man. This dude here, he bags the groceries there. But his name is Jack. But once you talk to him, he knows his shit. Like, he is on it. Like, he know line for line on certain horror movies, or he's a real good critic too. Like, if he saw something and he tell us about it when we see him in the store, his opinion is valid, man. Like, he be on it. Like, hey, this was whack. This was this. Check this out. Or have you seen this? And it's pretty cool to meet people like that. Like, everywhere we go.
Yeah, just getting to know people.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I want to meet the movie star," but the people that are behind the scenes working the cameras and stuff like that, sometimes they got more of an interesting story. You know what I mean?
And definitely.
I think that's kind of what we learned from some of the social media sites too. Like the people that we really dig talking to are usually like you said, behind the scene, like directors and stuff. Like, everyone wants to meet the actor and actresses, but when you follow them on like social media, a lot of times they're just like beautiful people that can imitate stuff. They're not too creative. Like, you see them on TikTok and they're just kind of doing the same stuff that everyone does. But if you meet like
the special effects guy,
like someone like like our buddy Nick Benson, he did the special effects on The Blob.
Yeah. Night of the Demons,
Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Tremors.
Yes.
Like, he's so cool to talk to, because he created a lot of this stuff from his brain. And that to me is like, that's cool to me. That's like, man, like you tell us on Night of the Demons, he when Linnea Quigley like squeezes this guy's head and his eye busts out, and he's like, "Man, that was a grape we used."
Yeah.
Like,
You
how
never
cool
get-
is
you
that?
never
Like, I
get
would have
that
never.
stuff.
Yeah, it's so
Even
cool.
when we talked to who we talked to Kenyon, what's his name from Texas?
Barry Kenyon.
Barry
yeah.
Kenyon from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who got his head sawed
Part
off
two.
in part two in the binge. We talked to him. He shared like some gems with us that we couldn't get
Yeah.
from other people. It's like
About hanging out with Tom Savini.
and
and
the behind the scenes.
Toby Hooper.
And Toby Hooper. It's just
so dope.
that's so interesting to us. And we actually last Halloween we got to hang out with Caroline Williams, Stretch, and she's just amazing. Like she's a doll, man, and she love her too. And it's like to meet her and talk with her was just like, you know, you kind of like in shock and awe, but she's so down to earth and she understands, she gets it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we look for. We look for the people who actually gets it. I have family members, they don't understand it, but they get it. They like, man, I see what y'all doing. Y'all got growth in what y'all doing. Y'all always changing, trying to do something different. And that people just drawn to you from that, you know? It's just, and it's lovely. We've been in like several videos of Houston underground artists, like horror related videos. Like if it's some horror, they'll call us. If they need a big guy, they'll call us. Austin Space Viking played a cop the other day in a Homeboy video. It was like just nuts, man. It's like, and we love it, man. And at the drop of the hat, we there for them because it's vice versa, man.
I'm usually the go-to white guy when one of our friends needs a video.
They need you to portray an officer. It's like, come on, Space Viking. we kind of was counting the days, like, man, when you think you're gonna play a cop? And then like it happened. Shout out to Rashad Miller, man. My boy, man.
You know, and not to talk bad about all actors, because not all actors are the same. I've met some that are just some of the great personalities that you could ever meet, but then you meet those that are just, I don't know, the only thing they know how to do is to imitate other people. They don't know how to be themselves.
Yeah, no doubt.
But those guys behind the scenes, I mean,
man, they're geniuses.
They're the ones that really make things click, you know?
They make it click, man.
Yeah, and cats like Josh Rubin, he did Scare Me that just came out. He can act, but he wrote it, he directed. Like, that's so cool. And like you said, not to sound like I'm bashing actors or anything like that. Like we've met some dope ones, but to me, like creative people are fascinating to me, and that's kind of what, you know, like I love someone who's creative, who can, you know, with all this magic comes out of their brain, man.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a movie coming up called Demon Fighter, and the guy that's starring in it, he's been a stunt coordinator. He's, you know, been the stunt guy, and he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for I think like the fastest punch and most punches at one time, and now he's getting to be up front, and his name is John Asuna, and look for him. This guy he's a class act, and his stories are so fascinating. I find the things that he does kind of outshines the people that he, you know, was standing in for, or, you know, doing the stunts for. And, you know, that it's just those kind of people, you know, just if you get the time to get to know them, and if you don't, you're missing out on some great stories.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of stories, how in the world you come up with Space Viking?
You know, that's funny. That's what I've gone by long before Guts started. It was just like the Space City Viking, you know, and the you know, I don't know. I'm kind of a big lad, and I have the Viking beard, so people just call me Viking, you know, or my real name's Austin. They call me Big A or Viking, and it just, I don't know how it kind of just clicked. I think I put my Instagram name as Space Viking or something, and it made all my friends laugh so hard, and then it just kind of stuck, you know. They're like, you know, that boy Space.
He spaced out.
Yeah.
So Tell me about your first podcast. Can you go back and remember what you did on your first podcast, and that experience from then till now?
Yeah, it was actually a Tony Biz.
Yeah, Tony Biz. There's a cat, a really cool dude. He's making a Chucky fan film called Charles. And so we had no idea what we're doing. We were using an iPhone to record. Like, we didn't know. We just knew we were doing a podcast. So we called up our buddy, our producer, Low Key, and we're like, hey, we got an interview. We're doing a podcast. What's up? Help us. He's like, all right, meet me at the pawn shop over here. And so we picked him up for the pawn shop, and he bought a mic or something in there real quick. And we called this guy up, and we're like, hey, we just want to talk to you. We don't know what the hell we're doing. And, kind of went from there. And then we just started like reaching out to like people who we thought would never talk to us, and like, one of the first cool interviews we had was the guy that played Art the Clown on Terrifier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His name is David Howard Thornton. He's a cool dude. And he was like, yeah, I'll come on. So we were like, cool. And we have no, interviewing skills. That's the cool thing about a podcast. You kind of just shoot the shit. So.
Oh yeah.
You know what you're talking about that.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting I think our first one was like wow. We got Jeffrey Reddick on.
Oh yeah.
That was Final Destination.
Yeah, he wrote Final Destination.
So that was just like,
it was really cool talking to him.
That was so amazing. And I think what it was, just to like, when you start asking people like how you'll be on and they respond back, it's like, oh shit, like damn, it's, and then and from there you kind of branch from other folks like, oh, you interview such and such. Oh, okay, you want to interview this person too? Like, yeah, we interview them too. And then went to Texas Frightmare. We met John from Dread Central. And when we met him, it was like a year later, we was on Dread Central Network. So that just kind of like took off, man. It was like, oh shit, we on the network, a cool ass network. Because when we met them, man, what's so funny about Texas Frightmare, how we did, it was a marketing basic, like, we went in like, okay, let's not go how everybody think you're supposed to go to a horror convention. Everybody think you're supposed to like be all black, all, gothed out or whatever. Man, we went with the brightest fucking colors you could find. Neon, pink, green, yellow, headbands. I got my knee tied up. We got graffiti spray paint on our shirts, on our shorts. We in there with big ass shades on and shit. And it's like, who the fuck are these people? So when he saw us, he was like, God damn, there's some fucking huge dude. And he was like, he said the amazing thing, like, man, horror needs heroes, and y'all could be those heroes, you know what I'm saying? And we met Tom Savini that day, and he was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is Guts Podcast? Like, we telling him, we took a picture with him. He did a drop for us. And then to me, that whole weekend was kind of like, y'all stood out that weekend. And as we start meeting people on the internet, they're like, oh yeah, I saw y'all at Texas Frightmare. That's why I've seen y'all from, you know what I'm saying? It was just, to me, I'd never been to a convention. I didn't know what to expect. And then when we went down there, it was like, it just blew my mind, like how much horror was going on. Like, you got people at these different booths. We met the guy, Tony, them from Trick or Treat Studios. And we ended up meeting, what's the big boy name from our boy, Trick or Treat Studios?
Yeah, John.
No, from Trick or Treat Studios.
Yeah, but he wasn't there that day.
You know what I'm saying? But we ended up meeting him eventually on the internet.
Yeah, Brawling Bo.
Brawling Bo.
Yeah.
We met Brawling Bo through there, and it's just like, it just started trickling down, man. Like, hey, and then we ended up meeting our guys, PBD Horror. They're from Rhode Island. And once we met them, we just started like hooking up with all sorts of people, man. And it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was kind of like really cool to find your own tribe type thing.
Definitely.
Because, like in the kind of, we went to Texas Frightmare. I never even heard of a convention. Like, I didn't know.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, we went to the movies one day, the Alamo Draft House, to see the premiere of The House that Jack Built.
Mm-hmm.
And and Joe Bob Briggs was there.
Yeah.
And we were like, what's up, dude? Like, you know, he used to host Monster Vision back in the day.
Mm.
And he was like, man, y'all look like a wrestling podcast. He's like, have y'all been to Texas Pride? We were like, man, what's that? And he's like, man, go check it out. So to go see a bunch of cool people that like the same stuff you do.
Man.
You know, Houston's a big town, man. You know, so the hoods and stuff that we hang out in, we didn't know too many other people that loved horror movies like we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So to meet a bunch of people.
Yeah, then you start finding artists from Houston, they rap, but they love horror movies. And that just blew our mind too. It's like, oh shit, like once you tell them what you do, they're like, oh yeah, this is my favorite movie growing up. And then we start like, okay, let's interview these guys and have them talk about their favorite horror movie and what they do. And to me, that's interesting to people like, oh shit. But we had DJ Wonder on the other day, and he does Sway in the Morning on satellite radio.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like, you know, to get him to talk about his favorite horror movies, to people to see that, like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like that you could relate to him now, like, oh shit, he likes his favorite movie was Scream and stuff like that. And it's like to hear people talk outside of what they do about horror to us is like, man, that's the perfect fit for us, man.
If you're like me, when I first started out, anybody I could get to come on the show, I would get them on. And it was kind of weird because there was this band out of Miami called Elastic Bond, and I really loved their music. But I am doing a paranormal podcast, but I want to interview these guys really bad. So I got them on, and I did an interview, and then I just threw in a few paranormal questions, you know, to kind of incorporate it. But you just go out. Maybe that was my mistake in the beginning, but I think that actually helped me along the way. You just reach out and try to get as many folks as you can. You find yourself growing, and you just take your chances. You know, the worst they can say is no.
Definitely.
You know, one guy I never thought I'd ever talk to, and he still hadn't come on the show yet, but he's talked to me in the past, is Tyler Maine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he said, man, hit me up before Halloween and we'll do the interview on Halloween because that's my thing, you know. And I'm like, okay. And well, for some reason it never seems to coincide, but you know, I'd go to comic book conventions, met Adrian Paul and got him to come on the show. And then I reached out to, you know who Susan Slaughter is? Okay, she's on Paranormal Caught on Camera. She's been on Ghost Hunters International, that kind of stuff, and very personable. She was a pretty big name for me to get on the show, and then it just got easier to talk to other people. I've just about everybody from the new Ghost Hunter show has been on. I've had Chad Lindbergh on the show. You know who Chad Lindbergh is, right? You watched the first Fast and the Furious movie. He was Jesse.
Yep. Okay, yeah. Cool. That's cool. Is he cool?
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. He's kind of nerdy, but he's real cool.
That's the one that got shot at the end, correct?
Yeah. He's like tricking out the system.
Yeah.
He would like make the NOS kit with the this.
And the one that lost the race and he ran all the way home.
He lost that race and he burnt out.
And he was on a show called Ghost Stalkers.
Nice.
And if you just have to look him up, it's hilarious because his reaction is really his reaction. He gets scared out of his pants. It looks like he's going to crap on himself, but he's really cool dude. I've had Marcus Harvey on from Ghost Brothers. Just all these different people. I had the director from MUFON. You just reach out and you never know who you're going to get to talk to. And then before you know it, somebody pays attention and eventually people start coming to you saying, hey, can I be on your show? Or I know this person wants to be on your show.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, because we end up doing an interview with Henry Sabrowski and from Adult Swim.
Okay.
Yeah. So to interview him was like, man, that was so cool, man. Real cool dude. And we actually trying to do like a reunion interview with him. I think last time we interviewed him in March of last year. So we're trying to do it again this March.
Yeah, it was cool. Like some of the biggest people that we met were the coolest.
Yeah,
you know,
so
like
down to earth.
they were just chill. They were just like, yeah, I'll do it. What's up? You know, and it's like that's really cool. You know, like to me, like because it helps. You know, when you get someone big on your show, it really helps you out.
Yeah.
You know, it helps fans and it helps you come up.
Yeah.
And so to be that cool like that to me is like that always motivates me. Like I want to be like that. You know, like I never want to say no.
Yeah.
You know, like no, I won't do that. Like I never want to be that type of cat. You know,
we definitely gonna pay it forward, man. Anybody that want us on or want us to do something, or be a part of something, we all for it.
We'll get in where we fit in.
Yeah, man. We're not, not too big, not too little to do anything, man. Especially like when people like really genuine want you to do something for them. It's like we gotta pay it forward. Like I can't wait to like if we make it big and somebody like just starting out be excited to interview us. We're gonna love that shit.
Yeah.
That's what we waiting on. Like, hell yeah, we'll be on that. Just tell us the time and the place and what we gotta be. And we gotta do it. So because someone did it for us,
Yeah. I don't get invited very often, but every once in a while somebody will invite me on, and that's the biggest thrill for me, more than me doing the interview for somebody else, But you make these connections, and then it's almost like you got a family going, or a brotherhood. Yeah. And it's really important when you talk to people, even if they're famous, is you just treat them like a regular Joe, and they appreciate that more than anything else.
Definitely.
Yeah. When I have paranormal people come on the show, I like to find out about them. What do you like to do? I mean, is there something you like to do besides chasing ghosts? And before you know it, you've got a whole nother conversation going. And then at the end of it, they're like, nobody ever asked me this. They always ask me the same questions over and over again. Well, yeah, I don't want to do somebody else's interview. You know what I mean? I want to know about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it's not like when we used to do artists and like, we don't worry about the gossip. We don't worry about who you with or who you messing with. We don't want that type of stuff on the podcast. We want to talk about stuff like you say that normally somebody wouldn't ask you. So when you leave, you be like, man, that was like the coolest interview I ever been on. Because what we used to mess their head up, we'd be like, hey, we got to ask you this question. They'd be like, oh shit, what the hell they about to ask me? And then kind of hit them with, what's your favorite horror movie? And then it kind of like throw them off guard, because some of them like, oh, I don't really mess with horror, or I do. So what we start doing then is like, okay, let's let them know what our platform is, to kind of like, hey, this is what we want you to come on and talk about. Instead of just throwing that question out there at them and they're not prepared. And they're like, oh shit. Because it kind of look crazy when somebody like, to our horror fans, oh man, I don't fuck with horror movies like that. You like, oh man, it's kind of like, damn, I just said to talk to you for almost an hour, then at the end you just shit on what we doing. It's like, but most of the people, surprisingly, man, as soon as you say horror, they're like, oh hell yeah, they get excited. It's like a rush. And it's like, hey, oh, my favorite movie is Candyman. And we got some friends out here, Space City Lords. It's like they do music, like they do like kind of like horror rap. And they kill it, man. They went on deep like with Hellraiser one time. And it's like, to hear artists talk about Hellraiser, it's like, oh yeah, you know your shit. Because a lot of people don't pick Pinhead to be their favorite, so it's like, that was pretty dope,
I guess that's why I like Rob Zombie so much, because it's that horror thing going,
Yeah.
Dude, I love Rob Zombie movies, man.
Yeah.
I love the movies. He always has a vibe of like, it's just like that down south, like kind of carny type like vibes in his movies. It's people like talking how real people talk. And it's like, all the actors, they're usually like great character actors. All the actors are like a vibe. He's not going to get like the most beautiful actor or the best actor. He's going to get the right character for that.
They keep the same people
The
in the
role.
movies. I love that.
And they're like, oh, are we? Can you see us?
Oh yeah, I can still see you.
Yeah, he's great to me at storytelling. I think he's real underrated, man. At you know, like from like I think when House of a Thousand Corpses, I could be completely full of shit, but I think when it came out, I think the critics were like, you know, they didn't get it. But to me, it's like that is such a dope movie, man. Like every time I watch that movie, I see something new that I didn't catch before, you know, and he put all the vibes. He gets all the vibes that I love. Like I loved his Halloween remake. I thought it was really entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
You know, and you get some of like the Halloween purists that don't like it, but I'm here to party, man.
Yeah.
I want a movie that I'm not going to be.
Story, man.
Yeah, I want to know where Michael Myers came from.
That was me.
Yeah, that to me that was like the perfect because when you see it at the beginning, like with Jamie Lee Curtis, it's kind of like, okay, this is a boogeyman, but what made him become this guy? Like, who is he? Because he doesn't talk, so you're not gonna get a background on him. I think Rob Zombie just gave you that background because at the beginning of the first Halloween, all they showed was the little kid, face mask on, then he stand outside with a knife. It's like, what happened in that damn house? Like, and Rob Zombie come with the mom was a stripper, he abused animals, he got bullied. This would made him turn into Mike, you know, then the stepfather was crazy, cut his throat. It's like, I needed that, you know what I'm saying? Then he was first time in the hospital. He's kind of like, oh, I think I'm gonna go home. Then all of a sudden he doesn't talk no more. That makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense.
And my favorite part about all Rob Zombie's movies is they're all rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
The music in all of them is gonna be dope, you know, like to me, and then like the Devil's Rejects, like that opening scene when they're on the run, you know, and like he plays the Midnight Rider, like that was so cool to me. Like it was like, you know, he got these sadistic, crazy, evil killers, and you're like rooting for them, you know, to go and like I just thought that was so cool.
Well, and I like the fact that he'll incorporate like a song from the 1920s, something from maybe the 40s, and next thing you know, you got a 60s tune, and then you got something more modern, and you know him and Lionel Richie coming together to make Brick House. I was like, man, this song is freaking kick ass.
So dope. Yeah, he's got a new song out right now that's pretty badass. I love his music too.
What's the new one? Because I might have heard it. I'm not sure.
It's The Howling Man, I think.
Howling Man. I'm gonna have to look it up. I may have heard it. I don't remember.
It's pretty cool, man. He's you know, he definitely thinks outside the box.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. You know, and I think there's been only 2 movies of his that I'm kind of like, I don't really like it that much. One of them was that The Witches of Salem. I didn't really like that one. And then there was another one was like it's almost in a Saw type setting, but they were in
31.
Yeah, 31. I didn't get into that one. The rest of them,
a lot of people kind of like on that same with that.
Yeah, it's kind of to me too, the Salem's Witches ones, I wanted to like it really bad because I love Salem and all those kind of vibes, you know. Witch stuff, I love all that kind of stuff. I really wanted to like it, but my attention span is like that of a gnat. You know what I mean? Like I'm a victim of ADHD. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you don't get me going right off the rip, I'm just gonna be on my phone, and I hate that. That's why I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get away from this thing.
Yeah.
I know. I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, well, you know, you mentioned House of a Thousand Corpses. I mean, it was nonstop, that whole movie. You just engulfed in that whole thing. And that actually, I have to say, was where I was introduced to Rainn Wilson. and I didn't know they were friends. That's why he got invited to do the movie. But so other than the music, other than the movies, what else do you guys do?
Well, we like to turn the fuck up and we like to rage. We do love movies, horror movies. We work out, we lift weights like every day.
Gotta lift weights.
Yeah, I used to compete in powerlifting. I don't anymore, but after the pandemic and all that stuff. But I've won a few medals in powerlifting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we do like I do some. I always worked in the gym. That was always my job. I worked in like a personal trainer.
Oh,
So,
nice.
That kind of stuff and hanging out. Oh, rap music. Love rap music. Love horror movies and like sneakers, man.
Big shoe fanatic.
Big sneakerhead.
We used to have the segment where we still do it on the actual podcast. I do like a shoes of the week. I used to do shoes of the week like actually on the page, but man, since the pandemic hit, it's kind of like, man, nobody want to see nobody get new fucking shoes, man.
Yeah, we're all broke.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the money, it's like that, and it's like even if we wasn't broke, man, it's like I don't want to put shoes in front of people's face that's like struggling to pay a light bill or some shit. You up there with $200-$300 sneakers every other week. They like, man, what the fuck am I supporting? You know what I'm saying? It look like y'all don't need no damn help. You spending money on something that lose value. It's kind of like so in the podcast itself, I will still like talk about a shoe because we still have fans and stuff that they still buy shoes and stuff, but we try to like not put that as much on the page as much unless a shoe actually goes with some of the clothes that or the merch that we're trying to sell. So we like, if you do buy the shoes, you can get this to go with your, go with your shoes if you like it. And then, we try to like, cause right now it's a certain time to back away from certain things. And that's one of them was kind of like, you know what, man, you can't really, even if you do have it, it's not good to just flaunt it like that in front of people all the time. You know what I'm saying? I would hate to be, oh, look up, we got nice this, and that. We always pushing what we got instead of like, hey, man, how can we help you out? But we even have friends that inbox us about so much other stuff than horror, and we tell them like, hey, man, if you got problems, you having a bad day, just inbox us. You know what I'm saying? We're here to talk. We're here to communicate with you because people going through shit right now, man. And there's a lot of stuff some people don't want to see all day. Like, man, nobody want to see, not to be like mad at somebody for having fun, but it's kind of like, oh shit, you in Jamaica right now, and I'm over here worried about if I can get a fucking place to sleep, and you out of town doing this and doing that. It's like, some of the stuff, if we do go somewhere, is basically horror related, and we scrape up our money to go there. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we going there and it's just falling out. We just try to stay within our means, man, because that's what it's about. But like he say, he do weightlifting and probably I actually do I do landscaping. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was my job before like actually getting laid off and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's to the point to where it's like, you know what? Before I go back and work for somebody else, I need to do that for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do it for myself than build somebody else's dream up. You know what I'm saying? Working for a company, that lets you know anybody in the pandemic that got fired and you know how to do your job, that should tell you like, man, do that for yourself. Because eventually you're going to get hired again, something else come up, you get fired again. It's like, you get tired of going through that cycle like that.
That's true.
That sucks, man, but we know now, man, people, it's just so much going on and it's bigger than us. Even when it happened, like with the George Floyd thing, man, we went and marched. We was downtown. We supported our brothers that was going through something with that. We try our best. Like if friends like passed away, they need money to raise for funerals. we'll buy a couple like meals or T-shirts and stuff like that. You know, we try our best to help people as much as we can, because I feel like you help with what you got, it'll come back to you anyway, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, we we were very fortunate this Christmas. We had gotten money that I wasn't expecting to get, you know, and here we are. We were blessed. We could have just went and blew all the money on ourselves. And I mean, not to toot our own horn, but you know, we reached out and found families that weren't having anything for Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was like, these kids deserve to have something. And of course, we throw something in there for the adults too, because I mean, they should have a Christmas as well. And you do that kind of stuff, it will come back to you.
Yeah, man. And definitely you do it without looking for somebody, like, you know, we don't never want to be those people like, oh yeah, we did something for you, so now you owe us. You know what I'm saying? We never want to be those type of people. It's like, we do something for you, it's out the kindness of our hearts.
Yeah.
You know, we don't look for a favor in return. Like, oh yeah, remember what I did for you? Well, you owe me this now. Or you owe me now. We just like to do it, man.
Yeah, it kind of loses its meaning when you know, expect something in return, you know. Uh-oh, froze.
Yeah,
Oh, there we
exactly.
are.
You know.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to like also make amends for, you know, I'm like, in my previous life I was a major scumbag. You know what I mean? So like, I try to like even out the universe as much as I can these days. Because if you talk to people like, you know, like, oh, Austin's got a podcast now, man, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? But sorry, can we curse on your show?
Hey, go for it.
Oh, yeah. I know.
It's a little late now.
Way past.
Yeah. So, crack does kill. So I'd like, you know, like I try to be the good, you know, a member of society today instead of, you know, a turd burglar.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a serious question, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but if I could get a little more personal, you're talking about that that y'all are sober, got over addiction. I sympathize because I was a raging alcoholic, and I mean, Coke was my brand of choice, if you know what I mean, and all the other stupid things I used to do, and I know now that I'm sober, I enjoy things a lot more.
Yeah.
Definitely. But you know, what is it like for y'all when you're kind of in that party atmosphere to be that sober person in the room?
Oh yeah, it's you want to go?
Yeah, you know, I've been as long as my, you know, house is in order, I'm usually cool. Just to, you know, I've been sober luckily a good amount of times. I got sober in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm used to it enough now. Like the first 5 years, I just like didn't do anything. Like I was never in that situation. You know, now like if we have to go to a function or event and people are partying, it doesn't bug me because I'm like, my house is in order and my bottom was really low.
Yeah.
Like it was so low that I still feel the pain of it, you know? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't bug me to see people, you know, tearing it up and having a good time. And people usually think, like, people don't, like if we go somewhere, people usually think I'm fucked up anyway. So I'm always just yelling and crazy. So
yeah, we
like to have fun.
Yeah, we definitely not the typical, like, we're not like basically like dry drunks or dry alcoholic, addicts or anything like that. But like you say, that takes time and the recovery to be able to build up that foundation. Yeah. Like I never put myself in a situation to where I'm like, you know, and I'm not pressured to do anything. Like you can't come to me and be like, hey, you do this and this will make you. I didn't did it all, so you can't tell me how that's gonna make me feel or how that's gonna make me react. But you got to build that up. Like us going through the place that we went through, it kind of like got you ready to be out there amongst it because it's gonna happen. You got family functions, you got everything. But I never wanted my family to be like, oh, here comes Zano, put up all the alcohol, here he come, don't do this around him. It's, I don't want you to stop being you to cater to me. Because I'm like, shit, I'm gonna be fine. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about me, because I know we go in places like we go to concerts when they was available, people smoking and shit, people drinking, like that doesn't bother me. And if it does, I shouldn't go no more. If I feel like, oh, I need to have a drink because I need to because like you say, man, you would never know. If we out and about, you'll be like, we went to this one event and man, we were so loud and rowdy. The dude who was giving us water and Red Bulls, he was like, man, people asking me what y'all drinking. Because they like, man, they so wide up over there. I want whatever they drinking. He's like serving people all kind of other shit.
Yeah, I'll take my shirt off.
Yeah, it's like they don't know. But it's like for us, it's like, but one thing for us, we don't allow it in our house.
Yeah.
Like you can't come to our house and party. You know what I'm saying? That's a no-no. You're not gonna come to our house and enjoy yourself like that. Like if you drink, that's cool. If you grown, do your drinking outside. Like you're not gonna come over here and just tear it up. Like we have females come over, you come with your little wine or whatever, that you brought that. That's fine. But you take that home with you too. And we not coming over here like, oh, we got a cabinet full of liquor, come drink, because we don't. No, hell no.
Yeah.
Like we don't keep substances in our house. We don't promote it. And if he having a thought, we here to help each other, like calm that shit down. Cause we know as addicts, you can watch a movie and be like, damn, that weed look like it's good.
Yeah.
Or damn, that commercial look like that beer is real tasty. But like you said, we was at the bottom, and for us to think about where we come from, that's to me what keeps me sober, man.
Yeah, I think it helps when you live. That's kind of, when you live with your support group.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it, man, for so long. We've been sober forever. So a lot of people that know us now, they don't know us like that way. So that's kind of cool, And life is like, I'm really grateful to be.
It's so much easier,
where I'm at, especially like in such a tough year,
Mm-hmm.
That's the year that could have broke a lot of people, man.
Man,
sobriety. I'm pretty sure it have, man. I'm pretty sure a lot of recovering addicts like relapse just cause losing your job, losing your house, losing a lot of stuff. Yeah. The only thing you know what to do is go get high.
Yeah, and you can't go to your meeting or wherever you go to get your spiritual or get your happiness on. You know what I mean? I'm grateful to be where we're at, and it really helps. Like I said, man, like I mean, he knows I'm a maniac, so like if I'm tripping, it helps to have someone who has my back. He'll be like,
yeah,
hey
bro, you're tripping, bro, and I'm like, man, you are right.
Yeah,
I am, so that kind of helps.
And just never surround yourself with that type of like I'm not gonna go nowhere to where I'm feeling like I'm trapped somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surrounding myself around people that's all they do, that's all they think about, that's all they want to do. I know those people. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, we could talk from a distance, we could talk on the phone, but I'm not about to come sit up in your environment and watch you get drunk or high all day. That's stupid to me. It's like, nah, I don't want to be around that. And it doesn't make sense to be around that. You're setting yourself up if you continue to go around. Like, okay, you go one time, they getting drunk high. You don't go the next day. Don't go the following day after that, because you kind of like, you want to find that excuse to, well, you know what, they doing all right, but that's not me. Like, I know I can't function on that shit. I know I lose a lot on that shit, and it's like bills are paying up. What you want, your lights on, or you want to get high? You make that choice. So for us to have a support group that we have, and we got and my family, man, real understanding of, I know you. I know where you come from. I know how you was. We're not about to tell you, oh, you all right, go on have a little drink. They don't want to open those gates neither.
Yeah.
Because to me personally, I say, man, you know what? Me lapsing, it'll probably be the first time I go out and drive drunk and kill somebody. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I don't
true.
want that. I don't want that predicament. I want to be home before midnight. You know what I'm saying? Because after midnight, between 12 and 3, if you out driving and doing shit, hey, it's liable to happen, man. You know, you liable to. It could be worse. Like I can't, and that's how we look at it. Like I can't afford another relapse. So I tell myself that all the time.
Yeah, it's sad. Is there's some people in your life, whether it be friends or family, you love them, but you have to love them from afar because
Yeah,
you can't get in
yeah,
that environment. I've had to walk away from many a friendship because they still like to drink every day and
yeah,
get
man.
high and all that stuff. I just can't do it, dude. I just can't.
It's a way. It's like, you know, you look at it from a, like you say, when you're looking at it from a distance, you kind of like, damn, nah, I can't knock you. I don't like, oh man, I don't preach to you. I don't, man, you need to get your, nah, man, you know, I I just chose this way. You know, I'm still your friend. I support you. I want you to be better. And if you need to know about how to be a recovering alcoholic, call me. Talk to me. I can help you out. But I'm like, you gotta want that shit, man. I noticed that from anybody, man, you gotta want it. And when I was in that place and I seen people come back after relapsing and going back out, coming back in, I'm like, oh shit, it doesn't stop. You know, I don't want to be like, damn, I could have got it then and I didn't get it. Now I'm back because I didn't relapse. Because a lot of people when they relapse, man, it's like, fuck, man, all that time you did getting sober, getting better. Now here come the fuck ups again. Here come the guilt. Because that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a bunch of guilt. Then there you go. You're not going around family no more. Not going around friends. You at functions all drunk and high and shit, fucking people up, and it's, I don't want it, man.
Well, I have to say one of the things that I admire about you guys and why I enjoy following y'all on Instagram and watching all your stuff is that you don't have to be high to be yourselves. You are wild and crazy without it, and
Yeah,
you're having fun.
yeah. Just imagine us on it. Shit, man, we'd be out of control.
I don't think I could handle
Man,
it.
we would be nuts, man.
Yeah.
Man. We would be those guys on the internet just doing dumb shit. Like, you know, our podcast might be like a jackass podcast, some shit. No telling, but it's like I thank God, and like even my family when they see us together, they like, boy, I thank God y'all sober, because the way we act and do our own thing, they like, man, if they was on some shit, it would be
Yeah,
10 times worse,
my drug of choice these days are Cheetos and sitting on the couch getting the shit scared out of me by
yeah, no
something.
shit, man.
That's what I'm digging today.
Give me that Whataburger tea or Coke Zero, and I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we're gonna end it right here. I'd really like to have you back on again sometime in the future. Before we go, what do y'all have coming up?
All right, so the 20th will be in Bastrop with CJ Graham at the Texas gas station.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the 20th of March, we're gonna be in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, tearing it up out there, and then because all the conventions and stuff are up in the air, I don't know after that. Because the Bastrop thing, that was kind of a last minute deal because it was supposed to be the Cult Classic convention out there.
And then we're supposed to be getting ready for the Texas Frightmare.
And so I don't know if it's out, but we got new episodes. We usually drop like 2 episodes a month on gutspodcast.com or on Spotify, Apple Music. We talk about horror movies.
Everything.
Yeah, we're on all platforms. We talk about horror movies. and we like to fuck shit up.
And you can go on Guts Podcast too, and you can hit our link. It has all our new merch that we drop, and it's just new everything we try to drop every time. You can also follow us on Instagram too at Guts Podcast, and YouTube. We on all of it, man. So we just gonna continue like to drop new shit, new original stuff, and just keep it going, man, and pushing through this time.
I'm going to put those links in the description, and so people can follow you. And social media. What's your social media?
At g.u.t.s.podcast.
Yeah.
If you search Guts on Instagram, you search Guts on Instagram, it's the one with the dots. It'll pop up.
It'll definitely pop up.
Yep, and www.gutspodcast.com. We'll have the links to everything.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much this means to me. And my recommendation, if you're watching this or you're listening to this, you got to check these guys out. I love them. I don't even care for hip hop and rap stuff, but these guys are great. So if I can enjoy it, come on now.
No doubt, man.
Thank you for
appreciate you
for having us on, man. We're really, really cool. Had a lot of fun with you, man. It was cool to meet you.
It's same here, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I want to say thank you to everyone that tunes into us, all of our viewers and listeners. We couldn't make it without you. Until the next time.
Oh boy.
Thank you for joining us on Into the Pit. Please follow us on Facebook at the Vibes Broadcast Network and Instagram at the Vibes Broadcast.